Welcome to Creating a Self-Love Lifestyle. I'm Marcy Newman, your Heart Shift coach. And last week's video, I spoke about integrity. I spoke about the energy and how essential it is to be integrous as an act of self-love. Today, I'd like to actually go a little deeper and look at a characteristic of integrity, which is the energy of freedom, and how that plays out in terms of also being a very powerful act of self-love. And the reason that, of course, I want to speak about this is that I equate the energy of freedom with the energy of creation. In other words, think about this. It's really very clear from my perspective. In order for you to be able to create, the energy must be free, right? So let's say, for instance, you're wanting to create a lifestyle where you are completely authentic, you have the confidence of self, and you are on this journey of revealing, unfolding into really becoming the greatest expression of you. Without the energy of freedom, would that be possible? The answer is no. And so freedom is an energy that must be tuned into, turned on, almost like a faucet, because you want all of that energy of self-love to flow freely. So freedom as an act of self-love is something that we rarely actually think about. But the energy itself is what makes self-love possible. So back up with me for a second. I was talking about being authentic, right, as an expression of self-love. Without the energy of freedom, you would not feel free to be you. You would not even feel free to explore you. You would not feel free to reveal you. You would not feel free to expand as you. And yet this energy of freedom is one that has very mysteriously been reduced to a smaller and smaller, lesser and lesser degree in our lives in the last couple of years. So the question then becomes, well, why would that be? Why would that energy be diminished? We've seen the effects of censorship. We know how essential it is that on this road of creating a self-love lifestyle that you are speaking your truth, that you are being integrous with your truth, your values, how you want to be living and expressing your life. And so freedom is also a value. It is one where it begins to dictate all of your actions, the choices that you're making. But it also dictates, ready for this, how you feel about yourself. You see, if you don't feel free, you are not going to be that full expression of you. As I said earlier, if you're not feeling free, you may not speak your truth. If you're not feeling free, you may diminish yourself. And I'm sure that you've had experiences of that. If you're not feeling free, you may allow others to diminish you. And I know you have had experiences of that. So this energy of freedom is so intricately intertwined with our ability to be freely experiencing and expressing ourselves both. So this energy, as I said, I want you to get this image of freedom in the terms of it being like a faucet. and how every faucet requires that you initiate some mechanism for turning it on so that what is meant to come through that faucet can flow effortlessly. So self-love, and this is where it gets really interesting. Self-love is both the initiator and the recipient of this energy. So what we're starting to see as we dive deeper and deeper into really dissecting this energy of self-love and what it requires of us is that just as every other energy, it actually spirals, right? It works. Its mechanism is a spiral. It is constantly twisting and turning and twisting and turning. And yet it also follows the basic principle upon which all things are created. And that is the principle of partnership. There must always be giving and receiving in order for the partnership to exist. So this is something that, as we put the spotlight on it, we start to see that these mechanisms for us to live a happy and healthy, a vital life is requiring that we know the principles that have been put into place that guarantee our success. So here we are talking about a universal principle, a principle that all things are created through giving and receiving. There must be a partnership in something that previously you might have just thought was just a possibility. Loving yourself, just a possibility. We see now that it actually requires so much more from us than we could have ever seen before. The reason for that is that as you have been studying this energy of self-love, you have started to bring your spiral up to a point where you now can access greater information. You've actually raised your vibrational frequency. The vibrational frequency that is setting the tone for your whole energy field has been raised. In other words, you have raised the bar for yourself. Yeah, otherwise this information couldn't come forward. The fact that it has, to me, is evidence about where you are. So I want to say kudos to you. You're doing a marvelous job. And keep at it. For self-love is not a one-shot deal. It expands through us. It extends through us only by our committed intention to allow it to expand and extend through us. And so the lifestyle is one that is filled with giving ourselves permission to be free, to explore what self-love is. What is it for you? And so that topic is something that we're going to delve into in the next video. But I do want to ask you to start thinking about it. What is self-love to you? The reason I'm asking is that, as you can imagine, it may be different than what it is for someone else. So when we meet again next week, I invite you to spend some time between now and then to clarify that for yourself. So the question is, will you allow yourself to be free enough to explore that? Will you allow yourself enough freedom to travel that spiral, to follow it around where it takes you? Are you willing to see things from the other side, from every possible angle? That's true freedom. True freedom. And the self-love lifestyle that you will create from giving yourself that freedom to explore that is something in this moment, I dare say, you cannot even imagine. But we can, as the spiral continues to rise. And we, of course, are rising with it. So with that, I'd like to leave you with, of course, an affirmation to help you to build this energy, which you're doing such a beautiful job of. Thank you so much for that. And here's your affirmation. I am free. I'm free to explore every aspect of me. I am free to expand every aspect that I am. And I am free to extend the love that I am and its potential to create. Create what? A world that we all want to live in. So much love to you. I'll see you again next week. Remember to take this all to heart. Please leave your comments below. Any questions? Share it, like it, and let's build this community together. Can you imagine what it would be like if we were all committed on this level of building a self-love lifestyle? Yep, that's something to dream about, isn't it? Well, let's take it further and create. All right, have a great day. See you next week. Bye-bye.